Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Push to Talk podcast, a show that centers around FPS-centric gaming, the latest and greatest extraction battle royales, tending to lean towards the more tactical and the realistic side of things. I'm your host, Big Fry. I'm joined here today by Crash Games. How's it going, man?
Good, dude. How are you?
Good, chilling. Well, actually, no, I've been running with my head cut off all fucking day. I'm late to the show, but that's all right.
It's all good, dude. No, man, I'm excited to sit down and talk with you. I feel like when we have those shows like we did last time with the interviews and stuff, I get excited. Like those are great, and I loved it. It was awesome to be part of. But I get excited for back to when it's just us. We get to chat about games and go over some of these news stories and hang out with everybody. I like the variety of doing those shows. What'd you think of that War Dogs and stuff, man? Like we didn't get a chance to chat about it too much.
Honestly, I've just been kind of in work mode, but I was thinking yesterday, what a cool fucking interview that was. I really enjoyed that. That's honestly something I really want to use this platform for. And I don't know. Have you heard from any other game devs? Has anybody said anything to you since that show?
Not to me. Not like that method of entry we talked about a little bit on a couple episodes ago. They reached out to me, but no, not since that. I think once the show grows a little bit and gets more around, I'm excited to expand the reach. And that's what I tell people. That's what I tell people on my content too, is like, if you guys help us out and share these around, drop us those 5-star reviews, kind of be a friend, tell a friend, and help grow the show, and we get more of a reach, then that helps us get more guests and make better content. So
for sure,
that's one of the reasons you guys can help us out, is we can do more of those. Cause I thought that was awesome. And I hope you guys also, the listeners, got something out of it too. I thought it was pretty enlightening, and I love that stuff, man. Like hearing the behind the scenes of what Bulkhead went through and what's coming with new games like that is so sick to me.
Well, and I spoke to them after the fact too, and I just thanked them for their time and stuff like that. And Joe said it was a cathartic interview to be able to actually finally open up about that kind of shit. So it was great. Honestly, it's something I want to do more of. I've had a couple of people reach out. We're setting some things up here in the next few episodes. Got some stuff lined up that actually I don't even think you know about yet. So we're going to be talking after the show, because it's all kind of happening in real time.
No, I'm about it, man. And that's what's cool about this kind of long form content. When we get into those, it's like we can just talk. They can say whatever they want to. We can get into anything. We're not on a time constraint. We're not going to piss anybody off. We just pure, honest content about what's going on. And I love that part about doing podcasts. That's why they're so fun.
Yeah. The big thing for me too is like I don't care if this show ends up being 3 hours, as long as the conversation's good. Let's run it. Very cool.
That's what it's about.
But like Crash said, guys, make sure if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a like, leave a comment with your thoughts on today's episode or previous or whatever. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever, make sure you guys are leaving us that 5-star review. It helps out more than you realize. And with that, man, we got some banger topics to talk about today.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, let's jump into the meta breakdown.
All right, guys, welcome to the meta breakdown. This is our big story of the week, I guess bi-week, since we're a bi-weekly show at this point. What do I say? The in-between period? Whatever. This is the big story that we're going to talk about today. Yeah. So buckle up. We're going to talk about Arena Breakout Season 4 launch. This is where we actually get to deep dive and talk about everything that's going on with the Season 4. We kind of have had a little bit of time with it. I probably played it a bit more than Fry has, because I've been streaming it almost every night.
Day, yeah.
There's not a lot keeping me playing Battlefield, which we'll talk about later. So I've been mostly playing Arena Breakout Infinite into the Season 4, and they did a lot with the game, and I've been pretty impressed with it so far. But we're going to get into, as always, the positive and the negatives of what is going on. And man, I guess I'll just kick it off with my first bit of positive stuff on it. Is the quality of life stuff this season has been awesome. They added like little stuff that they didn't even talk about, to where like you can just, when you go to do barters, you can see quickly at a glance like how much stuff sells for on the market versus how much you can barter for it. So I don't have to click through a bunch of screens and see how much this is costing and add this up to do that. So you can see like right at a glance if it's cheaper to trade for it or to buy it off the market. They still have everything going on behind the scenes. They've added some buttons when we're talking about preset loadouts and things like that. So where I literally, and this is one of the things that got me with Arc Raiders, but I am like always like two clicks from being ready to go again. Like, I can click one button, use the same loadout I just did, I can have 3 or 4 different presets that are just everything. Like literally click it. It has your consumables. It has the mags you want. It has the ammo you want. It puts it in the same places.
Yeah.
It puts the ammo in the secure container where you had it the last time and everything. It literally is 2 clicks. You have an entire kit. You are ready to go to the raid.
Yeah.
Like that stuff is just so nice. And it almost has ruined me from other stuff. I actually hopped into Gray Zone just to see how it felt the other day.
Yeah.
And it's like having to move stuff and like all that. I will say Gray Zone has the one button. There's one feature that Gray Zone has that ABI needs, and that's the top up button. It's where if you have like a partial stack of ammo on your soldier,
Yeah.
you right click and click top up, and
Right.
it'll take it out of your stash and top that up. That is not in ABI.
Yeah.
And that's like one thing I miss that I would really like to see added to ABI as a top up button. But as far as that, man, and I guess I'll get into the negatives a little bit later about like all the stuff that's on the UI.
Yeah.
But as far as in your storage, hitting your character, even as a boomer, as a battle dad out there,
Yeah.
I am so fast in that UI, man. I spend minimal time like trying to kit up and look for stuff. It's so fast. And
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know, that's interesting because like I like it as well, but as you're kind of describing it, I also feel like, you know, just watching other streamers play games like Tarkov and even our graders, I find that downtime is actually sometimes nice, you know, while they're kind of going through the race. Like for us, we come from like, we're those like arena shooters. We're in the action. Let's go, right? But I do find that I think there's going to be some players that might be, I wouldn't say turned off of that, but they might actually miss the actual, you know, equipping of the character, getting the gear and going through that. Just kind of having a little bit of downtime there as well, I think could be pretty cool. But yeah, Arena Breakout is fucking, dude, like in terms of quality of life and that streamlinedness of getting you back into raid, I don't think anybody does it better.
Yeah, it's fast. And I guess I am looking at it to where like when I have an evening, like during my work week, I have 2 hours to stream at night.
Right.
So it's like, I want to try to like keep doing as many raids as I can. But I get what you're saying, because if I do on the weekends, like sometimes I'll stay up late, I'll get a little bourbon flowing. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll stay up a little later on the weekends where I can do maybe like a 4 or 5 hour stream. And I it's kind of nice just to talk to chat and move stuff around. And I get that. But
yeah, for sure.
But for the time when I got 2 hours to play in the evening,
and
like
you're
for those
crunching,
of you who are really busy,
yeah,
so slick, man. Couple clicks, let's run it. You know, we're back in it.
So you've been streaming every single day this week.
Yeah,
for the most part.
At night, yeah.
How much have you just been focusing on playing the new map?
So I've been kind of splitting my time because those sneaky bastards at the end of the last season, they let us have that 3x3 container for the last few weeks of the season. I got to have that back. So if you guys don't know, to get that back, you can't purchase it. You have to do 60 of the season missions. So I'm actually doing the missions, and I'm not usually that kind of person. One of the other reasons I like ABI is because there's a ranking system where you just kill, loot, get out. I'm actually doing the missions to get the 3x3 container, but I like the new map so much, I've been splitting my time. So like if I weeknight stream, the first hour we'll work on missions, and the second hour we'll just run it on the airport map.
Gotcha.
But I've gotten far enough along. I'm around 30 missions done, so I'm about halfway done.
Nice. And
the missions are now on airport, so it's working out to play the new map, because I have played the new map at least half of my time. Even if the missions are elsewhere, we've been like, okay, I'm taking a break from those because I want to play the new map. Yeah,
new map's great. That's one thing that I think ABI does very well too, is they give you a reason to have to go back and play the other content. Going back through farm, and farm's the classic, but actually having to start there and just kind of work your way through it every season is actually pretty nice. Airport is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm nowhere near on the level as you and your guys, but like, it's fucking incredible. I was playing with Arctic and just kind of, I don't know what you guys do, but we were just kind of going and just doing like the safe hunting, just kind of getting into PvP and just like, not really, we're kidding up, going in, don't care about missions, don't care about anything. We're just kind of going for the safes. And man, some of those firefights in the internal area of like the command tower and shit is fucking nuts.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. People are gonna go in the comments and say we're getting paid again or whatever, but
I did get paid. This is not sponsored, by the way. The game is just fucking awesome, and
it's good. I've not gotten paid because my channel is tiny, so that's how
you'll get there.
That's just business, baby. That's just business.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we're not being paid. It's just a really damn good map, and I will
It
venture
is.
to say it's probably my favorite, like of the extraction shooters, the small map type extraction shooters. It's my favorite map because, like you talked about, there's so much flexibility on it to play how you want to.
Yeah.
It's really big, and instantly when you think big map, you're like, oh geez, there's going to be a bunch of people with bolties hiding in bushes, like long lines of sight. But it's dense.
Yeah.
Like it's dense, so you're always moving around in like urban type combat, like clearing corners, talking to your team and stuff like that. But there's also, it's big enough with cover. There's flank routes, so you get into those firefights, you can reposition, you can try to push head on.
Yep.
It's really cool, and you can play it how you want to where all the safes and stuff are on the perimeter. So we were making pretty good money playing Forbidden, which is like the super sweaty version with all the fancy loot and stuff like that, and everybody's, you know, kitted up over $1 million.
Right.
But we were just playing the perimeter. We'd go clockwise around, hit the safes, and there's a ton of containers, and you can make money that way because you get out and extract, and it's pretty chill, even though you're in Forbidden. Or if you want to, it's like, okay, I'm getting kind of bored, I want to shoot some people. You can run into the middle, pop the thing, everybody knows you're going in, and you can fight in the middle in the tower, try to get out. There's some cool stuff. Did you ever unlock the secret room, like in the tower, where you had to do the code on the terminal?
Okay, so I had the code book, and I couldn't get the actual 2 numbers that they wanted. I unlocked, it was like a D and a B, and they wanted like an H and something else. So I didn't have enough time in the raid to figure it out. But I don't know what's in it. Have you done it yet? Yeah,
we did it a few times. It gives you access to like 3 more safes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then there's like another keyed room in there. It's a really high tier room. It's like a $5 or $6 million key.
Holy fuck.
For that key in there. Yeah. Jesus. Right. It'll probably go down when people chill out on airport. Right. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. So you have to, like, if you guys don't know, there's a terminal area where you have to unlock a code. Basically letters just correspond to numbers, and it gives you 2 letters that you need to guess the corresponding numbers. And there are AOC code books around that narrow it down. Yeah. So sometimes you can get lucky and find the one you need, or you can find a bunch of them in process of elimination and kind of guess a number or whatever. But break into that, it opens up an area down below. And yeah, dude, crazy fights in the middle, dude. Yep. Crazy fights if you want to.
I also like you said, the outdoor area, which you thought would be, you know, bolt action central. Now they do have like the highway areas, which are kind of like longer sight lines, but the areas where I don't want to call it like a museum, but it's like the plane hangars, and like they have like it's like the plane statues and stuff on the out. What would you call that area?
The parking lot.
It's like, well, it's like a parking lot, but there's just a bunch of buildings on like grass and stuff, and you can like walk around in between all the different. Maybe it's called parking lot in the map. I actually don't know.
Yeah, then there's that one building called Ticket. There's like, so you're talking about where you walk through the pathway through the grass?
Yeah, yeah.
And then that bigger building to your right, if you're going clockwise around the map, is called the Ticket area. It's like a pretty big building, and it does, it's got that statue out front.
That area is fun to fight in as well. There's a lot of different flank routes and shit. They did a really good fucking job at balancing long range, short range, and just like you said, the different flank routes. The map is designed very well.
Yeah, I think it's like what Tarkov's wish interchange would have been. It's like, it feels like when you're on the outside, it feels kind of interchange like, but it's just always in cover, and you're always able to move safely.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I found, like, when you spawn into interchange. Granted, I'm not a Tarkov player by any stretch, but it always just like it's just a sprint into the building. Like, and there's nothing outside. So if somebody's looking through a window from the building, you're just getting shot at right out of spawn. And it was just kind of ass. So yeah, I think they definitely took some notes out of that. And yeah, it's very fucking cool.
It's interesting too. I really like the way they balance that and the mechanics of, as you go through a raid, I feel like one of the, what marks a good map in extraction shooter is how fluid and dynamic things are during the raid. Like, you have an idea of what you want to do when you go in.
Yeah.
But in this one, things change all the time because you have to weigh decisions like, did somebody go in? You hear somebody click the switch. You're like, okay, they have a minute. They're going to go in. So we know one team's there. And then there's also this, did you ever do the C4 breach to go in?
No, I've only done the switch.
Okay. So on the east side, there's a pre-placed C4 that you can hit that beeps really loud and explodes, and the whole map can hear it.
Oh, cool.
So then you also can tell if somebody goes in that way, and then you know what kind of part they're in. We followed a team in one time and killed them after they did the C4.
Nice. Is there a timer on the C4 then? Because I know on the switches, isn't it usually, is it 5 minutes into a raid?
Yeah, so the C4, I think you can do sooner. I think you can do 3 minutes into the raid.
Okay.
But yeah, and then when it explodes, it goes off and the whole map can hear it. Then they know you're there. Shit. Kind of similar to the doors. But the doors, there's like 4 of them, so you can be
Yeah.
at any one of those. So you have a little bit of mystery there. But yeah, just with all that stuff going on, it's fun to like, you have like your mission or what you want to do. You know, we want to loot or we want to fight, and to weigh all that stuff and try to triangulate where people are. It's just cool.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cool mechanics on it. Did you ever do the model airplanes at exhibit?
No.
So at the exhibition POI, so it's the one with the metal stage with the plane up on the stage and then the tents around it,
Right,
and the
yeah.
containers. So in that POI, there always spawns 4 airplane models,
Okay.
and you can pick those up, and up on the stage there's a slot machine. You put those in there and it'll roll different loot for
what
everybody on the team.
Fuck? Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So it's like another mini game that's in
Damn.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Fuck.
there's just a lot of stuff to do on that map. It's big. There's a ton of containers. You can play it how you want to.
Yeah.
You can
very
be aggressive. You can know where fights are going to be in the middle. Or if you're just kind of want to chill, loot, you can play the perimeter, get
Yeah.
into some medium long range fights on the perimeter. But they're never like insane. It's pretty rare to get sandwiched between 2 teams or have a huge gunfight. They're usually,
Yep.
you know, pretty straightforward gunfights on the perimeter. And
Yep.
yeah, man, it's
No,
good.
they
It's
did a
really
great
good map.
job. Did it live up to your expectations? Because I know you've been hyping this on pretty much every show, like leading up to this launch. Did it live up to your expectation?
Yeah, I think it did. Especially after I was pretty excited after playing it in the playtest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did. I think the player numbers are kind of showing that too. They've been up and going up
Yeah.
throughout the season. It's not one of those where you see the Steam charts pop up at the new season and then trail off. They've actually been kind of increasing slowly, back up in the 40,000s, I think.
Oh, good.
So I think it's hitting a mark with the community too. There's still just the ABI annoyances
oh yeah.
that come along with it too.
Like
but
what?
I think that what
What?
I mean, which ones do you want to get into?
what a little segue there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about? Well, okay. Let's talk about, because you have. I'm just reading up the show notes here. You have the amount of event. Let's talk about the amount of events in this UI. What are you referring to there? Expand on that.
I just if you listen to this show,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, maybe I'm going to give ABI a try, which is free, so you're not out nothing if it sucks.
Yeah.
And you log into it. Just plan on the first 30 minutes you're in there
Yep.
of clicking and hunting down red dots.
Yep.
30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Because there's like, and I don't know, man. Like somebody could say, but Crash, this is the voice of public opinion.
Yeah.
But Crash, you always say you want stuff to do in games. Like, I know, man, I do say that, but
Yeah.
like there are so many different events, different battle passes. There's
Yep.
complicated like currencies. There's like new raw diamonds. There's airline
Yep.
miles. There's like all these different currencies, and they have exchange rates, and there's like time limited events. So like if you do this one battle pass, it unlocks like another limited supply box thing that you can collect things and trade for these boxes. And I almost murdered myself in real life to do these things because they were terrible. But I did it, and then I didn't get anything out of it. And it's just like the UI is insane, man. It doesn't look bad at first, but if you click that event button on the top right, you're going in it, dude. Like,
well, and it sucks because for
there,
me, like I get overwhelmed easy. I look how many different, I don't even know what the fuck's going on in there. So I ignore it. Right. But then for me, I feel like I'm missing out on content, which I am. Right. But it's so convoluted. There's so much different shit to look at. And the thing is when it comes to events, the limited time stuff, they're just going to go away. So I don't even feel like I want to learn them. I just don't care. I just play the game to play the game. But I do feel like I'm missing out on a big portion of what makes the game good, which are those events, all the different stuff that comes. But it's so tiring. And maybe
you know what
I'm
I'm missing out on?
What are you missing out on?
Years of my life. It's taking years off my life stressing out.
And I'm one of those guys where if I see a dot and like, oh, I got a new thing there, I got to click it, and I have to make sure the dot's not there. But there's just so fucking much stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
I feel you.
But like if you have dude, I'm getting old, man. I don't got a lot of hard drive space up here left. But if you do, you're gonna love it because there's like all kinds of stuff you can do, and there's different things you can try to unlock, and there's a whole bunch of challenges for all these different events. But there's a ton of them. And then like what stresses me out is like the different currencies and their exchange rates. Like you have coins, you have bonds, and that one thing you have little airline miles. Then you have like the raw diamonds that turn into ore, and you have to like exchange rate those. And I'm like,
it's mobile as fuck, and it's disgusting. And like,
so
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say how I handle it. You don't even look at it. I just play the game, and if I arbitrarily do a quest and I get a red dot, I chase the red dot, I click it, I claim it, and I move on. Like I'm not following those and trying to do those challenges. Like you just you can't do it.
It's one of those things where if you wanted to experience all that game has to offer, it would be the only game you play. Which for you in this case, because Battlefield, is kind of in the shits right now, not too bad. But if you're somebody who plays multiple games, you're never going to see everything the game has to offer, which could be appealing. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of a completionist in that sense, and it's too much. It's way too mobile-y to me. It feels very gimmicky, which is weird on top of a game that I think is supposed to be pretty grounded, supposed to be realistic. It feels like that stuff completely contradicts the player base that they're trying to grab with that game, right?
Yeah. So, and then I always try to, whenever I try to criticize something, I really like to offer a plan forward, like an idea. And I don't know what that would be here. That would be a question maybe I would have for you, because it is totally free. And like, again, you can get like the 3x3 container. You can get extra storage slots. Yeah. You can get anything that you would have to get at higher edition in other extraction games.
Yeah.
You can do that all for free in here.
Yeah.
And and I guess another thing I should do credit where credit's due. If you do like the daily challenges and let those progress, which a lot of them you get done by just playing, they're not outlandish. They're like, loot containers, shoot really scabs, all that stuff. You're going to earn enough coin of premium coin to probably pick out a skin for about every season. So like you can do a ton of stuff for free in this game, and I understand they got to make money. That's what it is. And man,
dude,
and so I feel bad complaining about it, right? Because like you can experience everything for free, but
for me, there's gotta be a better way. Maybe. There's more about it's more about it's money, but it's also player retention. They have so much stuff in your face to keep you clicking, to keep you chasing, to keep you. They want you in the ecosystem, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I get why it exists. It's just too much for me, it's funny on the other side. If you compare it to something like Arc Raiders, you go to the store. They have a deck of cosmetics, and that's it. It's very simple. I don't know which one is. I guess it's just personal preference. I want more out of Arc Raiders, but I don't want it to be as fucking crazy as what ABI is putting out there right now. That's just where I'm at.
And they have done a good job with most of the skins in that game. Let's say 90% or so of them.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 10% though.
You want to?
Yeah, let's talk. Because like I said, the whole point is like, it feels very contradictory to a game that's very grounded, to a game that is trying to grab that Tarkov, realistic battle dad crowd, the guys who aren't into, anime. Ooh.
Too bad.
Too bad.
You're gonna be fighting them. Yeah. So
you made a great video on this, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I showed off the jiggle physics.
Yeah.
Because they're there. And I also kind of called out the mammary plate carrier.
Oh,
that just covers the boobs only.
Yep.
So it's got two AR 500 steel plates, but they are just on the boobs.
You got to protect the package.
Yeah, I guess so. Got to protect those goods. Yeah, it's bad, man. They're really jarring when you see them. Like, I don't know what to say other than I hate it. And they're Gooner skins, and I'm just not impressed.
Why do you think they exist, though?
Money, yeah, because I mean, and I call them Gooner skins because I mean there probably are some people that have never touched a girl that are gonna buy them, but at the same time, also there's also like normal everyday dudes that think they're funny, and they're gonna buy them because they think it's hilarious. Because I mean, it kind of is. Like, you got all this tactical gear on and you're fighting this, then around the corner comes a lady with a bare midriff and a mini skirt and a lab coat. It's like, you just get stuck in a time. Like, what is this? Like, is there a rift in the universe plane? Like, where did you come from? Like, it doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
So I really haven't seen much of the bulletproof bra lady. It's been mostly the lab coat miniskirt lady running around. And I do not want to get it twisted about like people say, oh, you just hate women, which is not true. I did have those comments, by the way.
Oh, really?
You can probably imagine. Yeah, mainly from my friends.
Gotcha.
Giving me a hard time.
Fair enough.
But to be fair, they do have female operators, which is lacking from some other games. And it's cool. And I play with some girls that play on my squad in the evenings and stuff. And I think it's great that they can kind of represent themselves in game. But up until this point, the female gear has been tactical, fits the world. They can wear the same stuff. They have like really cool camo outfits and operator gear that you can put on the female characters, and it looks great. It fits great. But man, this stuff with like mini skirts and boobs flying around, and like, I swear, dude, like when you shoot the lab coat lady, she always dies with her legs up in the air, like with her mini skirt. And it's just like, what are we doing, man? I hate it so much.
They're making money.
They're making money. They have to, China.
Yeah.
But it's gonna keep happening, and I'm a little bit concerned about the next season getting even wilder. Like if you take a look at the mobile version, there's a lot of wild stuff in there. It's probably coming here too.
Of course it is. Yeah, and I think that's just synonymous with the fact that, and I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna say it out. This is the fact. Tactical skins don't make money. They don't.
Yeah. They can't. I mean, they have to. It has to be that has to be true based on the amount of skins that we see. And
let me ask you this: how much money have you spent on cosmetics in Battlefield 6?
None.
Okay. Now, granted, let me ask you this though: how much do you usually spend on cosmetics?
A lot of times, it really depends on the game and how much I paid for it as a way to support, and if I like them. I feel like a lot of times in a game's life cycle, I'll probably buy one or so. Okay. And I really liked the first Battlefield ones with the, what was it, like the JTF Force or whatever, where they had like the jeans and the flannels, and like they looked sick, like that first skin. But then it's been just weird. Nothing ever since much that caught my eye really in Battlefield. But yeah, no. I mean, I think Call of Duty's like Fall from Grace had to show us that stuff makes money, because they did all the wacky collaborations and stuff like that. And I guess it's just, and like, I don't know, man. I just feel like the old man on the porch screaming
for sure. I think when it comes to like cosmetics and stuff like that, I've spent quite a bit in Warzone. I don't want to say quite a bit, like make it sound like it's a lot, but like, I bought maybe a skin or two a season, the ones that aren't so fucking outlandish. I like spending money on cosmetics. I hate that the microtransactions are so egregious and they're so abundant, but I get why they exist. I haven't spent a dime in Battlefield 6. I think the skins are some of the worst. They're just boring. There's nothing about them that, like, you can make really cool looking tactical skins.
I think they had one good set of skins.
Yep, and that was about it. And ABI, I've spent back when they had their roles for the I can't remember what the fuck it was, like a desert camo cosmetic skin. Spent a shit ton of money on that. Yeah.
Something else that's really cool that I didn't even really talk about is now in ABI you can mix and match your uniform.
Yes, you can.
So all those skins you bought, you can make unique and custom looks now, and it is so cool because I got with my free coins that I got in the last one in my bonds, I got the skin where the dude looks like the office guy from like Sicario. I can't remember that actor's name. Okay. Where he's like wearing the khakis and like the office shirt.
Oh, okay.
But then he's got like the plate carrier and the M4 and all that. That looks so sick to me. So I got that one, and now I can wear the khakis of that and like the sneakers with like a more like, then I got like an Under Armour tan top with camo tights, like woodland camo tights that come out on my forearms.
Hell yeah.
But now you can like, and I was always, my plan in ABI was I was always just to like protest how much they cost. I was just going to wear the default skin. Like I was just always going to wear that back when you could buy code and stuff. I'm like, just to not buy anything in the game. But now that you can mix and match, dude, I'm kind of all about skins now in that game, because you can really make some cool. You can change your gloves. That's something I always wanted, and I always thought World War III did really cool. Like one of the only things that game did cool was the customization, to where you could granularly change your character. And now it's getting to the point where my teammates are doing that too, and I can at a glance tell who my teammates are because of how they're dressed, and I think that's pretty cool.
100%.
So that's neat.
I think overall ABI is still sitting pretty when it comes to like the grounded realism, but I think we're starting to see the writing on the wall and where it's going in the future. And we just gotta hopefully nobody supports it, and then they go back to doing what they do best.
Enjoy the season.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it might be such a thing. I think there's like a small chance that maybe it did recruit that Battle Dad audience that maybe won't buy that stuff and just stick with like the cool skins. Maybe. Hopefully, because this is going to be a different demographic than the mobile game community, I would sure think. So maybe maybe we'll speak with our wallets and stuff and stick to those skins. And
We'll see.
I'm definitely not going to buy the Uwu ones, but
Nope.
I've been seeing some.
I haven't seen much, at least in the battles that we've gotten into, which is nice. But we'll fucking see. Let me ask you about Snowy Northridge. What do you think of that? Have you played much of that?
Love it a lot.
Very cool. I love snow maps.
Did you get a blizzard? Did you ever
No,
get a blizzard?
I haven't seen a blizzard at all yet.
Oh man.
Wow,
Yeah.
really? Man, we played a shit ton of that map.
No, there's a blizzard one where it like gets really windy and like snow, and there's a lot of fog to where like you can't see very far at all.
What
and
the fuck?
It makes it crazy. I think our first raid was that, and then I didn't get it again. But like it can happen, and it makes it wild because I don't know. Do you remember when they did Foggy Valley?
Oh yeah.
It made it like that to where like you could move around in the open and not worry about being seen.
I like that.
And it was neat. Yeah, but then I didn't get any more of that. But Snowy Northridge is super cool, man. That was my favorite map before Airport.
Yeah.
And just changing it up like that's cool. It even changes how it plays because like the lake and stuff is frozen. So you can run across the water that you couldn't before. So it changes that up a lot. Yeah. There's some new extracts. And
I like the idea of being able to track people's footsteps. I was never in a position to where it could actually happen.
Me neither.
No.
But it sounds cool on paper.
It does. Yeah. I was sitting there like, we were trying to track some guys. We were going for safes. And I was just like, man, you can also like, you can see their footsteps. And we just never, ever saw footsteps. Like maybe they existed. I just never noticed. But yeah, it was it's a cool feature. But no, that map is fucking, I love snow maps. I think that's my favorite biome when it comes to FPS. And you just don't see it.
I think they nailed it too, like the vibe of it, man. You start to feel cold playing it, dude. Like that when your gun's all freezing up and you get frost on your face shield.
Oh super
cool. And then
cool.
it's cool. And then you go inside and it like slowly melts off. Like I'll go in a building and I'll just stare at my gun and like watch it turn to droplets and then evaporate because that stuff's pretty cool. I didn't know like UE4 would still do that kind of stuff. I think it's still UE4.
Oh yeah. Yep. I think is Arena Breakout UE4?
I think so.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure. But I mean, doesn't it run good for you even with all that snow?
It looks fucking
stuff going
great,
on
dude. Yeah, it runs great, looks great. Hold on. Oh shit, it is Unreal Engine 4. Yeah, you're right.
I thought so. That's why I crank everything up and still get 200 frames.
Dude, that makes sense. It runs fucking awesome. I'm curious if they're ever going to do an upgrade to UE5.
I kind of hope not.
I hope not either. It doesn't need it. That's one of those things that it doesn't actually need it.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I think I've had some people come into my chat before and they're like, man, I wish I could play a game like this. I'm like, why not? Like, I need to upgrade my PC. It's like, do you? Like, the minimum specs are insane. Yeah. It's like a 960 or something.
Yeah.
So like, I would say like, if you have like an old 1060 or 1080 or some of those old cards, like you could probably still play this on 1080 and get playable frames. Like it's really optimized.
Now, one thing before we move on here, I just want to make sure we get, you guys are playing at a much higher level than me and guys like Arctic. And you have notes here about the balance on some of these weapons. Can you kind of go into that and give me some insight into what you're seeing?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. This might backfire on me.
Sure.
How many guns would you guess are in that game?
Oh, fuck. Like across like shotguns, rifle, everything.
Yeah, just weapons. Yeah.
Man, I'm going to say probably close to between 80 to 100.
Oh, okay.
I thought
you were gonna say less. My plan did backfire.
Oh, okay.
It's like mid 70s.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a lot. But what I'm saying is like when you play Forbidden and even some of the crazy lockdown lobbies, you see like 3 guns. There's the HK, the new U191 is really broken, and the AK-12, and like people run those 3 guns. And that's like the meta, and they're like ultra strong. And there's just so many other guns in the game. Because we got into this when we were on my other podcast last week. Buff was talking about how there's not very many guns in the game. I'm like, dude, there's like over 70. And so we looked it up, and there's like 72 or 75 guns in the game.
Yeah.
But you just never see them. Like
that's crazy.
You can't. No one ever runs like a 7.62 AK. Like you can't build those out to compete at all.
Right.
Like just there's whole ecosystems of guns that like don't use. There's not really much shotgun ammo that can make those viable. You can do some leg meta with the full auto shotty, I guess, can be a little cheeky. But there's not really any slugs that compete. Like you have Tarkov AP20s. There's just I
what
wish
kind of ammo are they running like end game like that?
The highest tier stuff, like the BS ammo and
How do
the
you
DVC 12 ammo is so strong, dude. That new gun, the new marksman version of the Chinese one, the U191 is what it's called in game with DVC 12 ammo, is stupid.
How do you balance for something like that though? Because let's say they nerf that, like nerf the damage or nerf the ammo, something else is just going to take its place, right?
I think I'd prefer that. Like, just change it up, like change the meta sometimes.
So it's not necessarily the amount of weapons, but like change it up, nerf these ones so that another 3 can take its place for a season.
I think I would prefer that because I've kind of in my head, like you start to think, man, it would be cool if like all these were viable. But they're just really not. And I think they could make more viable instead of 3. I think you could have 5 or 6 because there's not really, I don't think they do much with like range. There's a lot of guns that are good up close or good at range too.
True.
So I think you could have some different weapon types dominate different ranges and kind of to your play style to change it up just a little bit. Like maybe have some more damage drop off on some of those laser beam guns would be cool. But honestly, I kind of to the point where like that was one of the things where when I used to play Rainbow Six Siege, rip, they would change operators like every season quite a bit or change metas, even mid-season patches. They would really nerf and up stuff to get people using different things. And I think that would change things up for that. I think it'd be fun to have like a mid-patch update where they would nerf some of the big guns and maybe buff a few here or there. And then we would have another fun couple weeks of trying to find what the next good thing, like the next, and just change it up.
No, that's fair.
I don't think you're ever going to get, I just think there's too much knowledge out there now to where you're never going to like get everything.
Someone's always going to find the meta.
Yeah. They're always going to min max and find the biggest, baddest one. The other thing I want to touch on really quick before we go on to the next one, the 72 hertz servers are chef's kiss, dude. So if you guys don't know, it went from like 20 tick rate this season. They started doing 72 hertz servers and the gunfights feel awesome. They feel really good. Yeah. And you get, I think it even makes the kill cams better, like more accurate. So they tell you like the kill cams are just kind of approximation of game data and it kind of rebuilds it. It's not like an actual screen recording of who killed you. Yeah. But like they look better. They make more sense. And you can just tell. Yeah. Like the gunfights are a lot better.
It feels good. You even notice it. A spectator cam, I think, is still a little bit fucked up, like when you're watching teammates. But the game feels good. Like I don't care. Like you call it a fucking Tarkov clone, whatever. It feels good to play, man. It's fun. It's fucking dope.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely started that way. And you can tell in like the art style and all that stuff, especially in the beginning, that it was heavily inspired to say the least. By Tarkov. But I think it's kind of branching off enough now where it's turning into more of a arcade style extraction shooter and not so hardcore with some of the game mechanics. And I think it's kind of finding its own identity with a little bit of the world building and stuff. And that's what I'm be pretty bummed about. Like when the skins go totally off the rail is like they have a little bit of world building going on with the Kimona map. And like you could see the whole big map, and you look into stuff and read stuff, there's some lore about it. And it's just probably all going to get demolished by cat girl skins running around the map. But
100%. Yep.
We tried.
Guys, not sponsored, by the way, but if you ever have a chance to check out Arena Breakout Infinite, it's available on PC, Steam. I think it's also available on Epic Game Store, is it not?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. For the 6 people who play over there.
Right. For the people that just, log in, claim the free game, and then not open it again like
100%.
I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the other thing. I don't have a problem recommending it to people because it's like if you don't like it, you uninstall it. But it's cool. It's cool to have a free to play game that I know in the back of my head, if you like it, you're still not going to have to pay anything if you want to experience everything in the game.
Exactly.
You can buy all the guns with in-game currency. You can do all that stuff with in-game currency. The best secure container, like I said, is behind questing and playing the game. There's not going to be any gotcha thing in there. The skins are expensive. You got to roll for some of them, but they're totally optional. So I don't have a problem telling people, give it a go, man. Especially if you're on the fence. I think it's a great extraction shooter to start with. Yeah. Before you purchase Tarkov or before you purchase Arc Raiders, just to see if you like the genre. If you like that gameplay loop, it's free and you can get into it and see what you think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I think it also would scratch an itch for people who might be a little disenfranchised by a Rainbow Six Siege at this point. You're looking for, a tactical shooter. It's free, And when I
I've
think
met
of,
a lot of my Gray Zone content creator counterparts over there too.
yep,
It fills the time between Gray Zone
100%.
patches as well.
Yep,
To
absolutely.
run around and do something.
For sure. All right, guys, I think with that, it's time to move over to the patch notes. All right, guys, welcome to the Patch Notes. This is part of the show where we talk about more bite-sized news topics. This one, to me, isn't very bite-sized, considering this is a huge part of the Push to Talk podcast, and that's the fact that Battlefield 6 is now being delayed a month. We're not going to be seeing Season 2 for, what was it, February 17th it's coming out now?
Yep.
I know how I feel about it. Unfucking believable, in my opinion. How did you feel hearing that news?
It's probably not this serious, but I feel like I got kind of scammed. I definitely got baited a little bit, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Whenever we started out the lead up to launch in Battlefield 6, I was like, dude, things are going to be different. It's so sick that before the game launched, we had laid out the 3 phases of Season 1.
Yep.
So in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, guys, stop the press. Does DICE have live service figured out for once in their fucking lives?
Right.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because like we already have the 3 parts of the season laid out. We can see what's coming. We got the 2 new maps in the first few weeks. Then we got another map event. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm like, man, having a reskin snow map, that kind of sucks because that's not really new content. But it's like, if we're still on that same cadence, we're probably only a couple weeks from Season 2. So it's not that big a deal. Right. And guess what? We're not a couple weeks from Season 2. We haven't heard shit on Season 2. And I am just like, I thought, man, because we had Season 1 laid out pre-launch already.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, all right, we're going to keep up the cadence. And then it's falling apart, man.
Do you happen to know offhand when the Winter Offensive update dropped for Battlefield?
It was early December. So it was like December 9th, I want to say.
I think so too. So if you take that, we literally are December 9th. We're going to be going over 3 months without any new content coming to the game.
Yeah. And I feel kind of bad because like the listeners on the other show and stuff, I was like, man, this is shaping up. I was just saying it, man. I was like, this is shaping up really good because they're already talking about the 3 phases and they're already laid out before launch of Season 1. That means Season 2's got to be well down in the pipeline and we're going to be finally getting some content. Like I was like, man, it's going to feel like the old Battlefield 1 days when we had actual DLC packs and like,
fuck,
we're going to actually see some stuff. It's just crazy. And I don't know. I don't know if Vince, this passing had anything to do with that. Man. I don't know. I hope, not that the whole thing sucks, but
I've been seeing that. I hate it because there's a human, like, empathetic part of me where it's like, yeah, I could see that throwing them off, right? That would be like, I just think of our development. If I ended up dying halfway through, it's gonna throw some shit off. Where I'm at and what I know of these kind of studios, Vince might have been the guy, right? But he wasn't the only guy. His passing probably threw some shit out left. Okay, well, who the fuck's running the ship now? I totally understand it. My guess is this stuff was already in the pipe well in advance, right? So what it comes down to is, and here's my thing. I think if that is the case, why not just say it?
Oh, yeah.
In the post, why couldn't you have just said like, man, we just went through some shit and we're still trying to, steer it right. It happened over the holidays. Give us some time. And I actually think that would have went over better with people. You're still going to have the people that are going to troll and be dicks or whatever. But I think for guys like me, I'm critical of it because I really know that these guys could crush it if they just got their shit together. And I think a lot of us we want Battlefield to win so badly and constantly, time and time again. I think people are throwing and it's an excuse that Vince died. I totally get it. It's going to throw some shit off. It would be different if we didn't see them stumble and fumble the ball every single fucking release for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, there's a track record and a body of work there you have to look at. Like that predates the catastrophe that happened. Yeah. The definite unfortunate event that happened. So Yeah, I get it, man. And I would have even thought, in my head, I wouldn't have thought, Vince's accident would have thrown him off that much because the way they were already talking about season one, I thought season two would have already been in the can pretty
It had
much
to have been.
because they were just popping those DLC maps like a couple weeks at a time. Like, yes,
Yep.
dude, yes, yes. And I remember being super excited whenever like the California map and
Yeah.
both new maps were in Strike Point. I was like, oh, they're supporting this mode that I
Yeah.
like too. That's cool, man. Like, because usually they'll do a mode like that and then they'll just not support it because it probably
Right.
doesn't have enough players or whatever. And I was like, man, they're fully supporting that. So like whatever new maps we get are going to be in Strike Point. Like that's super sick, man. And then just this silence has been crazy, and they've done it before, man. And I even put that example in the show notes on that. I talked about that as one of my cons early off several of our episodes ago about how slow they are to fix bugs, dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a recoil bug that Florian talked about on X that says it is going to be there. They found a bug with recoil that's still in the game that I feel sometimes. I feel it sometimes.
Yep.
And they have he said they have a fix. This was tweeted today as the time of recording this. We have a fix that's ready on our side that will be released in an upcoming update. Somebody asked him, will the fix be rolled out with tomorrow's update? Nope. Okay. Then do you have a fix? Like,
right.
Why would you? And I don't know, dude. And I got a little bit of insight to it. One of the coolest interviews I got to do on my other show, The Scope, is we talked to Jim Heil of EA, who worked on the rendering team, like the optimization team for 2042.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about how many moving parts are on this. And I think you start to see some of the inefficiencies of having that many people on a game when you have something that's been a bug for so long that's fixed, that's missed like 3 patches already, and it's still not going to be in this next patch.
Dude, we said the same thing going back to 2042 when they came out the gate post-launch and they dropped sandbags in 2 of the maps to like fix some of the routing and stuff like that. And I said back then, do you know how many people it had to go through to just drop some sandbag? Something that I think a developer could have done in an afternoon anywhere else probably took them over a month to go through, do the proper testing, make sure that all the assets are up to snuff. It probably passed through several hands to get there for something that could have taken them 2 hours to do. And it's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, I'm hesitant. Obviously I feel for the studio. They're going through, I don't want to call it a crisis with Vince's passing, but they're definitely going through it. But I can't help but look at the past and go, this is the same old fucking Battlefield Studios, only turned up to 11, because not only do you like, I'm at a point now, I miss playing Battlefield. I play it for an hour or two, maybe a week, jump in, play a few games, and then go. I want to grind that game, but the progression is fucking dog shit. There's no new content coming. Well, at least for a month. I'm surprised that the fact that it's got delayed, we didn't even hear what's being delayed. I don't even know what's coming in season 2.
No,
they showed a little gas mask teaser. What does that mean? Is that gas for RedSec? Or are they bringing gas grenades to the game? What does it actually mean? We just don't know,
gas
and it's weird.
Cosmetics.
You're right, exactly. There's going to be a gas mask battle pass.
What if they delayed it and then season 2 is just like 2 infantry maps?
It's probably what's going to happen, man. This is when I made my Battlefield is Dying video, I said season 2 is going to be dog shit, or it's going to be mediocre. It's going to be more, CQB infantry Manhattan type maps, and it's going to push more people away. And I think that's exactly what's coming.
Yeah, I remember your video, because I agree with your timeline in that video, because I think that they haven't probably had time when we're starting to talk about some of these patches and these bugs that have been around patch after patch that aren't fixed, and it takes this long to get a fix into a game.
Yep.
You start to put the numbers together in your head and think, dude, if they just got the feedback that we need bigger, more combined arms maps, how long is that going to take to get through the pipeline to where it makes actual change to maps that we see?
Yeah.
So like you said, I don't think you're going to see them be able to act on the launch feedback until the soonest season 3.
And what I will say, it pisses me off now that all of these creators, and I'm just going to say it, bro, when we were out at that event, I heard so many people make videos talking about how good Manhattan was, how good the small maps are, and how like the Battlefield is back. And I remember saying like the gameplay was really good, but these maps are way too small. And I got a lot of heat for saying that, even, you know, after being flown out to that event. And now all of these creators are saying they need bigger maps. And I'm thinking like, I spoke to some of you guys at that event, and you guys said you have been testing this game for over a year internally, talking with Battlefield Studios. How did that not come up? But now the tide is shifting and people aren't hyped on it. Now we need bigger. You guys should have been saying this shit behind closed doors a year and a half ago.
Yep.
But the problem is, and you've seen it, Battlefield of the past, you can't tell them how you actually feel.
No. Or you're gone.
And that's the issue. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, that shit kind of happened with me too. I don't like that. And it's funny. Like I look at just how, and I know you're not an Arc Raiders guy, but I look at how Embark is just thriving. Smaller studio, more nimble, and they can just do what they need to do. And it just, I don't know. It's ruining my hype for the fucking game. I still like it. I still want to play it, but it just needs to get better, and I just don't see it getting better.
We've seen that in the past with creators getting kicked out for like criticism or leaking stuff that wasn't really even a leak.
Yep.
And it's just like that completely defeats the purpose of having a creator feedback. Like if you're too fragile to take actual feedback, then what's the point? You're just wasting everybody's time.
It's not feedback. It's praise. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. You can't build a successful product without hearing what people actually think.
I feel like I do need to come clean though. I kind of at launch, I like the smaller maps because I don't play vehicles. I play infantry.
That's fine.
I still prefer infantry maps. I do like them.
That's totally cool.
I think what's getting me is not even necessary. The maps really don't get me as much as other people.
Yep.
I think the progression is dog shit.
For
if
sure.
you're gonna make small maps, you need a lot of them.
Yep.
So
I agree. No, I like for me, I think you would be different, and I would probably call you out on it on this show if you came on the show and you said, "Man, they really need some bigger maps," because that now your opinion is shifting based on, and your opinion hasn't shifted. So I respect that. Yeah, you've always said that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge big map Battlefield guy just because I don't like the vehicles as much. I like being a soldier versus vehicles, so like I'm fine with the combined arms and stuff like that. But I know that the people that love to drive tanks, or especially the pilots, and that's a whole subsection of the community. You know, they have like hardly anything they can do in this game. There's not that many maps you can run on. I mean, what, like 3 maps or something you can really get into vehicles on. So,
and if you really want to get into it, man, like we need bigger maps, but then we also need to balance the aerial gameplay versus just how many different forms of AA are on the ground. If you're a pilot, I mean, I've watched guys like Silk just dog on motherfuckers, but if you're not playing at Silk's level where you're if you're just you're fucked. You're fucked.
Silk is not human.
No, he's not human.
In the pilot seat.
Not everybody can play like that.
Yeah. You can't judge it off that.
So when you jump into a helicopter, you're done. Like the helicopters, you're not even a glass cannon because you're not even really putting out the kind of damage that you need to be able to. So there's a vehicle balancing conversation that needs to happen before we can even talk about the fucking big maps to allow those vehicles, because big maps wouldn't work with the vehicle design they have. Man. It ain't it. And it's really, really unfortunate because I think the foundation and the actual gameplay is so much fun, but it's not quite there. And I just wish,
and I mean,
like you said, we're not going to see.
And I talk about the big map feedback and stuff just because I see the community saying that. That's, you know,
for sure.
I still would be cool with infantry maps, but just need like a lot more of them.
Yeah.
Like a lot more.
How did you feel about like Blackwell and Eastwood?
Yeah, they were okay. I thought Eastwood felt kind of flat to me.
Yeah.
Like I could have used more like topography and stuff to move around. I feel like a lot of the fights happened in the same places and those buildings got leveled, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of lame, but I also have to come clean and say I haven't been playing a ton of the respawn modes either, man.
Yeah, you're a strike point guy. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Blackwell Fields was good just because a one life mode makes me feel something. I don't know what it is about this Battlefield. Like the progression seems so slow, or maybe it's because all the attachments you try to unlock, they don't feel like they do anything. Do you
Yep.
feel that too? Like the attachments don't feel like anything?
Yep.
I don't feel like I have a reason to run around and fight on conquest too much, other than it's fun. Like it's fun for a little bit,
Yeah.
to run around and do that stuff. But I think progression needs a lot of work, and I think yeah, just more maps and stuff like that. And I'm probably in the I sounds like I'm kind of in the minority on the big map thing, but if that's what the community wants, then that's what the game needs, even if it's not my personal opinion.
Well, and it's funny when you talk about like big maps, you always get they had huge maps in 2042 and everybody bitched.
Yeah, no.
Can't we find some middle fucking ground? Like,
Yeah.
like it doesn't need to be a
mean,
goddamn oasis of just like miles and miles, but can we get something bigger? Like,
yeah, it's like not mutually exclusive, man. You can have big maps that suck, like,
Right.
and they were just open nothing. Like you can't even. The 2042 map problem was not just a size thing. They had to rework all of the launch maps.
Yeah.
Like, how screwed is that? Like, you had to go back and fix every map you came out with. Like,
and it's not even like it wasn't we have to fix these alongside getting new content. We have to fix these first, and then you'll get new
and
stuff.
then there was no content because they had to go back and fix all that stuff. And that's why I was hyped for this one.
Yeah,
because when we started playing in Battlefield Labs, and I started seeing some of this stuff, I was like, the maps look finished, man. Like, there's grungy and they look war torn, and it's like, so now we finally have a game that launches playable.
Yeah,
and DICE is going to be starting from 0 instead of -30.
Right.
So they have like a launchable playable game. Now we can add to it instead of having to get it up to a decent state. I was like, this is the first time DICE is going to be starting at 0, instead of way behind. And they still are. We're still just like,
I don't know what it would take for a successful DICE live service game. I don't know how they can do it now.
I don't know.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's impossible at this point.
Speaking of successful games, or potentially not, another patch note we have this week is we kind of have the. Oh wait, is this an official announcement? The last time I heard about
it leaked, and then now it's official.
Oh, okay. I haven't. Oh, so this is literally 18 hours ago. I haven't seen the official. So March 5th, that's my birthday. Marathon coming out.
All right.
You can pre-order now. That's huge, actually.
Yep.
How do you feel about it?
I think this is going to be a game that I probably don't put a ton of time into, and it's probably not why you think. We just talked about like crazy outlandish cosmetics and stuff like that. They fit this universe. They fit the storytelling here. Of the crazy stuff. Like the stealing of the art and all that stuff sucks. Like, they got it fixed, whatever. That's something you can grandstand on if you want to,
for sure,
to boycott it or whatever. But I'm still of the opinion, if it's a good game, we'll play it. The thing that's turning me off is the same reason I don't play the Delta Force Extraction much anymore. It's probably the specialist type stuff. Like, the abilities is kind of turning into a hero shooter.
Yep.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's fatigue on it. I don't know if it's the old man lack of hard drive space up here we talked about. I just don't feel like learning that stuff in an extraction shooter, man. Like what these shells do. And I pulled up some of that. They also put a blog post out about what the runner shells are going to do. So like, basically you have like your conscious or whatever, you're a runner, but they put you in a shell. So that's the body you inhabit when you go and go into the arena. And they all have different archetypes and different abilities and stuff to them. And like this one, for instance, like the assassin shell. As a synthetic smoke deployment and camouflage technology allow assassin shells to plan unseen strikes or take up cover during hostile engagement. So I saw this. This is like the active camo from Halo. You're invisible. And it's like you're in a high stakes game, like an extraction shooter. Maybe you've been working on a quest for a long time, or you got a piece of loot that you really, really need and you're trying to get out. And some asshole comes up here that you can't see and kills you. And like you had nothing, like you had no counter to that. And that just drives me up the wall, dude. When there's that kind of specialist stuff that you can't really account for. And you could say, well, you could have known that that's a thing and watched a little close and all that stuff. It's like, no, dude, like when there's just specialist abilities that basically give people like a cooldown on like an OP thing that they didn't earn or anything. Like I don't like that gameplay, man. Maybe am I like, how do you feel about it?
I'm in the same boat when it comes to extraction shooters. It's funny. Like, I really enjoy games like the finals. When I think like the light class has that cloaking ability and they can sneak around, and it gets annoying in that. And that's frustrating. in an extraction shooter, it would be fucking 10 times worse. There's a game that I've covered on the channel multiple times. It's called Exoborn. It hasn't even come out yet. And one of the most frustrating engagements that I had in that game, and it's kind of the same kind of system, like that you have like these shells, these exosuits that have a bunch of different abilities. And one of them is the ability to go camouflage and you can't see them at all. And in that game, it has a bunch of crazy weather effects. It's on Unreal Engine. So everything's like flying around on screen and then somebody's invisible and it's terrible. Like I've seen that in play in an extraction game and it's fucking dog shit. The thing that I've been told about the current play tests for Marathon, cause they're still doing like, you know, internal testing kind of leading up to this launch. Apparently the questing in this game is some of the best that the people who were telling me the best that they've seen in an extraction game. It's not, you know, go to farm and fucking, you know, loot a bunch of medical stuff. There's actual storylines to it. And that's apparently cool. It's really, really good. That's probably the only fucking thing that's going to make me want to try this game at this point.
Yeah. No, that sounds pretty cool as someone who really hates redundant quests. And as soon as I'm done with the 3x3 ones in ABI, I'm never touching a quest again. Like until next season, I have to do it again. That would be something that's pretty cool if it was like story driven, and Bungie can pull it off. You know, Marathon has a whole lore and thing to it, you know, like from the really old IP, like they could come up with some cool stuff. But yeah, I just see like, man, like the Thief one, enhanced visors with a piloted butterfly drone. The shells can locate and acquire loot. So you can think a remote loot deal. There's one like the one has the tracker drone that just goes out and tracks somebody and follows them so you can find people, and like see through wall pulses and I don't know. The one thing I did see in their devlog that I commend them on, if you're going to have this kind of stuff, is they said each of these shells have a very identifiable profile. Yeah. So if you see one from a distance, you can kind of understand what you're up against, which is cool. Like a way to kind of help understand what you're doing and keep it a little bit more readable in combat. But yeah, man, I commend them, their art style and stuff, like what they did to the maps. You can see, if you guys haven't seen, you can go online and see, like, because they kind of went back to the drawing board after the last public playtest. But they made it darker, a lot more grittier. They went through and redid the vegetation and made the world look alive, like you are on an alien planet with some actual, like, you kind of have like I don't even know what I want to say, like the buildings, and it's not human, but like the building encroaching in on the natural habitat, like kind of together. You see those different biomes is kind of cool, like how they made it look more living, more alive. Yeah. And commend them on that. But it's feeling like the specialist abilities could be the game breaker for me.
No, and that's fair. For me, I think it's really going to come down to the gameplay. I don't mind specialist stuff if I'm having fun just playing the game. And that's one thing that Marathon just never clicked for me, just running around. It didn't feel good. It just didn't feel good to loot. It didn't feel good to open an inventory and look at, I had no fucking clue anything that I was picking up. Like it was all just for me.
That sounds like me playing Arc Raiders, bud. The other thing I remember from the playtest, the gunplay was atrocious, and they actually had aim assist on mouse.
Yeah, they did.
So like that hopefully got fixed too. Everybody was screaming about that. Like the gunplay felt pretty terrible, which is kind of sad from Bungie. But
let me ask you this: Are you going to try it? Like if they do, I think they're going to do some sort of open beta probably in February. Is this something you try?
Yeah, I'll try open beta.
Okay,
I'll try an open beta. And I know this question might come up, just to let you guys know really quickly. The standard edition is $39.99 US side, and the deluxe edition is $59.99. So $40 game
plus a collector's edition as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I'm just looking on Steam. The collector's edition, I didn't see what it came with.
Yeah, it's a statue and some other shit for like $250.
Yeah. Woohoo. The deluxe edition has a Midnight Decay bundle, premium rewards, and 200 silk. So guessing that's the skin currency that you buy.
Must be, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
So hopefully there's like 7 different currencies and an exchange rate that you have to compute in your head. And I look like the Zach Galifianakis meme with all the formulas floating around my head while I'm trying to buy a damn skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm willing to see what they got. We were talking about it in Discord. I think they waited the perfect time, because if this is coming out in March, I think by that time, depending what Embark does, I think we're gonna see the Arc Raiders fatigue kind of sink in, and I think people are gonna be looking for something different.
Might be.
And so if this, hits a mark with a good open beta, good showing, maybe, we'll see.
Yeah, I think it has a better shot now than it did if they would have came out with it like right after their test, and everybody hated it. And it was getting all that bad press too from like the art stealing and
it would have been dead on arrival if it launched in September, especially coming up against Arc Raiders. Just there's no way. So they did right there, and that's good. They are clearly listening to feedback, which is good too. You got to give them props. I just don't know how much people care.
Yeah, if this does flop, what does that mean for a studio that big? Like,
I think Bungie shutters. I do.
Like layoffs and stuff.
Oh, big time.
Or like totally is.
I think they're banking on this one because Destiny 2 is not going well. And I think they've already had layoffs for Destiny 2 on that team.
I know they delayed it. I saw some news stories about the latest Destiny patch got delayed as well.
Yeah, so not doing good. So yeah, I think if this one doesn't go over, it's not going to look good for them at all. I think it was a bad purchase from Sony, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. Maybe this one will fucking hit and it'll just take over the world. I don't know.
Yeah, from what you told me, it sounds like those the quest and the story part are gonna have to carry it, because like I feel like the extraction shooters have to offer something unique, kind of like Arc Raiders did, and there's already ones with hero abilities, like Delta Force already did that.
Yep.
So it's already got that kind of stuff going for it. It does have a unique art style, but if they could make a really cool story along with it, like that might. I know Tarkov 1.0 tried to do like the new storyline type stuff, and people seem to like that better than what was there before. So,
well, I think for me, just going into a raid and just going like, go pick 12 berries and then extract is just stupid. I kind of like Arc Raiders kind of started to do it where like you go topside, you have to go to like these basically like radio stations. You have to fix an antenna, you go back down, and then that antenna picks up intel and you have to go. I liked kind of how they piece it together, but I want more in-depth stuff where you're doing multiple things in a raid that's actually pushing a real storyline forward. I will say Exoborn, as much as I did give it some shit early on, they have a really good story-based quest system that I actually enjoyed. And I think that's what people are looking for to kind of take this gameplay to the next level, but I don't know, man. We'll see. I find it hard. Just because I know what Marathon was, I kind of find it hard to be excited for it. But we'll fucking see, I guess.
Yeah, which one you buying, this or High Guard?
Well, I think High Guard's free, but I don't think. Yeah, dude. Honestly, we're a week out from that fucking game supposedly launching, and there has been no mention of it.
I meant to do this at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, what's up, guys? Welcome. Glad to be here on the next episode of Push to Talk. This podcast has officially lasted longer than the High Guard servers are going to. And
dude, right? I don't know what's
going to be rough, man.
That's going to be a shit show next week.
Be pretty funny.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I mean, it's not funny because it's people's jobs too, though. It's like, it just, it's so cringy, man. Like, who thought that's a good idea? But we got some insight on that, like who's calling the shots on the last episode with Joe, talking about like the executives and their age and stuff. And all they care to do is just call shots and go home, like, so.
That game was built out of just like a focus group of how do we look at what other studios are doing and how do we just live service it up. I don't know how that game looked at Concord and went, let's keep going. I really don't get it.
Might be the same people. Feels like it.
Right. Anyway. All right, guys. With that, we're going to jump over to the patron party chat.
Guys, welcome to the patron party chat. This is the part of the show where you guys pull up a chair, join us, become part of the conversation. And if you want to be a part of that, what is it? Patreon.com/BigFry, huh?
It is. It is. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
You nailed it.
Yeah. So go on over there, copy one of those subscriptions. And this is how you can be part of the show. It's also how we thank you guys for the support over there as well. This question's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So do you want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to give a shout out to Redbeard for this one. He says, if we're going simply based, I can't wait to hear your answer on this. If we're going based simply on the milsim shooter aspect, why would gamers want to play a game like War Dogs or Bellum when Arma and Squad are already established franchises and titles?
Who says they're going to want to play them?
What do you mean?
I mean, it says, why would gamers want to play? They might not want to play those because those are already established. But I would kind of base my answer also off of what Joe said in our interview last time. Was he was talking about how we kind of went down the rabbit hole of don't build your own back end.
Yeah.
But like what the back end of that was the progression a little bit. And I'm not exactly sure. I haven't played Bellum. I'm not 100% sure how it works. But I know if I'm looking at similarities between War Dogs and Bellum, I think they are changing the gameplay loop a little bit with new modes. So maybe somebody who's wanting to look for a new and different kind of mode would hop into Bellum. I know they're kind of doing some different stuff with attack and defend kind of gameplay with the two different factions. But as far as War Dogs, what I liked about that one, because he specifically talked about Squad, where he said that's a game with like no back end, where you just get in and you play a match, and that's what you're there for, is to win or lose and run around and do the thing.
Yeah.
Why someone might look to War Dogs, and again, we haven't played it yet, we don't know exactly how it works, but it sounds like you're a mercenary and you earn money in those matches, and you use that money to buy your loadout for the next matches and moving forward. So there is some perpetuity to your character.
Yeah.
So you can kind of start to maybe take some agency or have a little bit of role playing and kind of immerse yourself in that character, place yourself on that battlefield, and then you fit into like the ecosystem of being a mercenary fighting for those other factions, for those three factions. It is going to be, and I get that's a great question because they talked about it's based off Arma King of the Hill. So it's like if you're going to play War Dog, just go. It's like it's already out. Just go play King of the Hill. But where I think Joe was talking about trying to add something to it, or player retention wise, is getting you identified with that character and having some perpetuity and progression between matches. Because when you play like Arma or Squad, again, you're playing that match, and then when you leave, like that has nothing to do with you anymore. But with at least War Dogs, there's some carryover between the matches, and you have stuff to work on and move through it. Maybe some more of a reason to fight and earn money and move forward. So that's how I would kind of delineate the difference.
Yeah, no, I think that question makes more sense if you take War Dogs out of the equation based on what we know already. When you talk about Bellum looks cool. But Bellum looks like other things that we have seen before, right? They're doing some things differently with the ammunition. I think one of the cool features they have when you're holding like the belt feed for somebody who's on an LMG, they have a really in-depth medical system. All that's cool. But that question, I think, is going to be way more pertinent to them. How do you differentiate yourself in the market against an Arma or Squad? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe we should have Bellum on the fucking podcast and ask him.
Farmer, what you doing?
Yeah, right.
Pull up a chair, bud.
You're right.
He actually was kind enough to come on the scope.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they were wanting to do that is different, I know, is they want to kind of change the whole PTFO thing and saying like, to make it to where your life matters more. Like a lot of times when you play like a PTFO game, it's like we're capturing that flag. It doesn't matter. Like you kind of hurl bodies at it. You go get on the point, like whatever it takes. I think there's something in Bellum where like you only get like 3 lives.
I think so.
So there's a finite amount of lives. So you kind of have to think about how you're going to complete that objective rather than just throwing bodies on it.
Yeah.
So I think that's like Bellum's play. And you're going to have to decide for yourself if that's different enough from what's already out there. But what they're trying to do different is make you think, like still have an objective-based multiplayer game, but make you think about your life a little more. And maybe that's what War Dogs might be doing too with the money, depending on, if you lose money when you die.
Right.
And then you might start thinking about your life too, and how, and put a little bit of more thought into how you're going to attack these objectives.
Yeah.
And I think that could be an angle that they could use to give you just a little bit more, I don't know, like meaning to your life or tension or a little bit more higher stakes gameplay than just a Squad or Arma whenever the match is over, you're done and you played it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think what a great question, because there's so many aspects that you can go. You could go into the gameplay elements, you can go into progression, you could go into your marketing. There's so many important things that would go into how a developer would answer that question.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it too, is like, Arma, especially with Reforged, is kind of relying right now on user generated content more with, kind of making your own experience, where it sounds like Bellum and War Dogs is going to be more like official type, already canned experiences that the developers want you to go through and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's another difference. I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to think of differences and stuff because there are similarities
For sure.
for sure, especially where they talked about War Dogs being based off of King of the Hill. So
Yeah. Well, and you can tell Bellum is a branch of an Arma / a squad as well. Yeah, I might reach out to Karma Cut because I kind of want to ask him that question and actually get it direct. That'd be cool.
it's cool, man. He's passionate about it.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a cool show on the Scope. If you guys
Hell
want to check that one out too, because he got into it. He gets fired up.
Oh fuck yeah! I remember talking to him when we went to the Battlefield event, and yeah, he's passionate. Fuck, he could go on for hours about it. Anyways, sorry, yeah, reminiscing. Red, appreciate the question, guys. If you want to ask us a question that'll be on the show, make sure you guys go over to patreon.com/BigFry, cop yourself a subscription, support on a monthly basis. You get early access to these episodes here. You get exclusive videos, exclusive live streams, so much more. Patreon.com/BigFry.
All right, guys, welcome into Sleeper Hits. This is the part of the show where we talk about stuff you may not have heard of, some smaller stories around the industry. The first one that I brought to the table was one that we talked about on the Scope as well. I think is pretty interesting, and I definitely want to hear what Fry has to say on this one. It sounds like the Division 2 is finally getting a realism mode. So what this is going to be is coming with I think it's like the 8th year anniversary patch. It's one of the big year-long anniversary patches for this next upcoming season. There's going to be a realism mode that kind of unfortunately only applies to the New York DLC. So you have to, if you want to experience this, if you haven't played in a long time, you'd have to buy the New York DLC to play it. But it's like minimal HUD, and they redid all of the damage and stuff to where it's all explicitly based on caliber. So like it's just a much more realistic mode. It's more like it's kind of like the Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah.
Realism mode is what this is going to be like, but in Division. So Blue is excited about it.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Cool.
You hate third person?
I love being third person, but to me, it's like, it kind of just sounds like Ghost Recon in New York, which I'll play it. I'm definitely going to play it. Am I excited? Yeah, I'm sure. We'll see. Cool.
Yeah. Well, if you're excited about it, too bad, because it's only for this season and it's going to go away. So I thought that was kind of a bummer if you're excited. Yeah. It's a limited time mode, so it's only for the season, which it's like,
well, then I'm not even going to try it then.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that actually sucks.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we call it a sleeper hit.
Yeah, because it's going back to bed after. That sucks. Okay. You know what?
I don't know.
I'll still try it.
Yeah, I kind of want to, because that was one of the things. Like I played Division 2 for a while, and I thought it was kind of neat. I ripped Division Heartland, man. I was excited for that one. I played the beta test of that one.
Yep.
But I just got tired of, like, it didn't feel like you were doing anything, because like as you got more progression, as you do more progression, then you would, like, the characters just got harder. So you get a better gun, but then they just got more, like, it just took more damage. It didn't feel like you were doing anything. It got really repetitive. So I would be interested to see if this changes that up a little bit.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with Division, it's that level scaling, right? And so you never feel like you were getting you got a purple gun or whatever, but now you're going up against purple enemies. It doesn't matter. The whole game, I want to like the Division because I like everything about the aesthetic, the vibe, the actual story. I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens. I don't like that it's going away though, because if I do like it, that'll make it way harder. But So yeah, apparently this is supposed to be launching March 2026. Limited time mode offers a completely new gameplay experience. Yeah, I'll try it out. We'll see what happens.
Got some downtime in between something else. It'd be cool to walk around New York and see what they did.
I'll play that over Marathon.
But High Guard,
it's gonna take over the space, man.
Buckle up, bud.
So okay, run me through this next one, because I will say, credit to Crash. He brought both of the sleeper hits today. Gray Zone Warfare has successfully wrapped up its second year in early access. They put a video out. What are we taking from this post?
From this video, just kind of recapped everything that they did with Gray Zone. And I honestly just wanted a chance to talk about Gray Zone a little bit, because I've just been thinking about it lately, because it's been like pretty delayed with the 0.4 patch. Was supposed to be fall.
Yep.
We're going to be getting close to spring, completely going through winter with the delay for the 0.4 patch. But they basically said because they changed the scope of it, it's going to feel like a completely new game again. We're hearing that stuff. You guys can, decide what to do with that information as you please. In this video that they posted on Twitter, the one thing I saw was a couple new guns. The most notable one I saw was an M16. There's also some screenshots in there where you can kind of see some bigger changes to the background of the map. They changed some of the mountains and stuff in the background, so it looks like there's at least some big map changes coming. I kind of wanted to do like just a quick little like philosophical question about Gray Zone.
Sure.
Where do you think they need to go with the game at this point? Or do they, and also, is there a deadline to when people are going to not ever come back from those 70,000 that gave it a go at the beginning?
I think, man, that's a good set of questions. I don't think there's a deadline. I think what'll happen is when Gray Zone Warfare announces their 1.0, they're going to do the marketing. They're going to get every influencer involved. And then that's when they're going to spike. And I don't know if they're going to ever hit 70K again. I have no idea. Where do I think Gray Zone Warfare needs to go is a question I actually don't know if I have an answer to right off the top of my head. It's a great question.
I've changed my opinion on it.
Yeah? What do you think?
I really wanted it to, and I thought it was going that way with where they did the cop system where you can respawn, and it was like a really PvP centered update. I really was putting Gray Zone in that extraction box.
Yeah.
Of like, I want it to be like a super crazy PvP extraction shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've really changed my mind, and it could have been seeing the success of Arc Raiders and some of these other things and having that talk with Joe about War Dogs and some of that progression. And I really think the game, and it might with this 0.4 update, I don't know, because it's supposed to be lore centered. There might be more challenges in some of the soft skills and the certifications where you're supposed to have to go around the map and learn to get your sniper certification and all of this kind of different things like that.
Yeah.
This was at least supposed to be coming to the game. I don't know if it still is, given how long this delay has been, but I think I would like to see him really lean more into the RPG aspects of this and lean into that persistence of the server.
I agree.
And maybe they were, and I was too much trying to put it into that extraction shooter box, and I think they need to completely abandon that. And I know lately I don't know what they're calling themselves. They used to call it an extraction shooter, open world extraction, and now it's not.
Did they reach out to you
recently? They're not an extraction shooter, but I think,
Did they reach out to you recently?
I mean,
like within the last few days? Can we talk about that?
I don't know if we. It's not. I didn't see anything like pertinent, but it was just like a recap of what was going on. And
okay.
No, I know what you're talking about.
I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. I don't know. Like, they reached out and they asked me to fill out a little survey.
Yeah.
Talking about just basically asking me what I think the genre is and what I would call it. Right? Did they do the same to you?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that's where this question's spawning from. I think you're right, though. I think with the cop system, everything just moved way too quickly. It became PvP centric, and the game I don't think is built for it.
Yeah.
And you're just running from cop to cop to cop to cop, there's no impact, there's no nothing. Slow it all down. Really lean into the point. The points of interest are great, and have people move around the map, level up, and keep going. But I just wanted to make. I think they're on the same wavelength as you with this.
I actually forgot about that. Yeah. I did forget about that. I wasn't like trying to play stupid. I literally forgot about that. I have to fill that out. But I would love to see them like lean into the fact that they do have a really cool looking open world with day, night, weather, all that stuff. Get people to spend more time out there. They already did that with the cops, and you can be out in the map more. You don't have to ride the helicopter as much.
Yep.
But I think it would be really cool to try to get people more invested in their character.
I agree.
And if they do get that certification system going, that'll help. Like today, I'm working on my sniper cert. Like that was one of the things they gave way early in the launch of the game. They said you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to find like a sniper expert guy, and you're gonna have to do challenges and quests and go through training with him, and then you get your sniper certification, and it gives you skills. Like they're gonna go that route. I would also kind of love, and this is crazy how I flip flop. So you call me flip flopper in the comments, whatever. But people talked about wanting to hide out and stuff. Yeah, I think it would be really cool when you go back to the base. If you go into those buildings that don't really have anything in them, if one of them takes you to a room, and what made me think of that is Black Budget. I
Right.
thought that was one of the shining things. In that game had some rough things, but I thought that was one of the cool parts of it was like, what if you went into that building? So if you're in your main base in Lemang
Yeah.
and you open a door and it you know, maybe there's a little cutscene or like a little load,
Right.
but it takes you into like a hideout and you actually can do stuff in there too. And I just really think if they left that extraction shooter vibe and went more RPG
Yep.
and get you invested in your character and in the story.
Yep.
And I think that's where they could shine. And that would make more sense with the open world. Cause I think the persistent server is the cool thing.
Yeah.
Like you're not on a time limit.
Yep.
You can just go and do whatever. And, you know, make it more kind of Ghost Recon Wildlands, but like a little more hardcore. Like,
well, and
really
I think when they talked about the persistence of it, that was all in our brains, right? Slow. We can take our time. We can go with our guys. We can go do a mission. But the problem is the missions aren't great. You know, It goes back to what we said about like you really want an in-depth quest system. And I think like
I can't get through them.
They're fucking ass. Like they're just not fun to play. Like, I love those guys, but I feel like leaning heavy into that RPG element. Getting sniper certifications, getting all of those different certs, and actually spending time with your character. And like you know, you're talking about even with Bellum, like everything that we've said during this podcast is what Gray Zone should be looking at. Your life matters, right? Dying should be a punishment. And the problem with Gray Zone is you can just run back to your body, grab your shit and whatever. Who cares?
But also to go back to the quest, if you go through and do all the quests and get to level 50 or whatever, what do you get?
I don't know. I've never finished the quest in Gray Zone. Yeah, exactly. What does what does that mean? And that's why, you know, talking about extraction shooters in general, like it's that meta progression that nobody has done right to keep people playing long term. The reason why people play Tarkov is not because of the progression and is really not because of the RPG elements of it. It's just that gameplay is unmatched against anything else, right? But I think for most, like you have to come correct. And I think you nailed it. Get away from thinking you're an extraction shooter. I said that I would consider calling Gray Zone Warfare, what the hell did I say? An open world persistent sandbox. And I think if you take the RPG elements and add that in and make you care about your character, and like I said, just slow everything down so that you're not just running between, because it's funny, I want to make a comparison to New World. I know you didn't play, you're not an MMO guy.
I did.
Oh, wait, when did
That's
you
the only MMO I ever played. Wait. Yeah, I know, out of nowhere.
What?
Right? Little crash lore for you.
Okay, so then you know that. This is great. So you remember the guild territory, like faction wars that they would do like every other day. And I said the worst part about that is that it's just constant combat. You're a guild, you just took it, you earn it for a couple days, and then you're back to battling again. If you slowed that down and made that a week-long thing to where for a week, our guild ran this fucking city and we earned that shit, it makes the battles way more important. And so with this cop system, I said like, you get it, and then you leave, and then somebody else comes and takes it, and then you got to run right back.
That's so cool. So you could do it to where like maybe on the weekends you fight over the cops, and then at the end, whoever has it at the end of that session keeps it for that week. Yeah. And then the cops actually do something, whether it's a resource gain or it does something to boost your faction's standings in this server. And that to me would make you want to go and invest in the right faction. Where are your friends? Okay, let's go and fucking do. Dude, there's so much they can do with this idea. It's just a matter of they got to get out of that box of, hey, we're an extraction shooter. No, we're a survival shooter. No, you guys can do something totally fucking different. Yeah. No, how do you market that though? Imagine that, dude. Like throughout the week, you can work on your quests and your challenges and stuff even in the evenings, but like it's the weekend. Get the boys on. Like we got to hold this bitch. Like that'd be pretty fun. Fuck yeah. Like if you just had a window where it was open. Yeah. And like, I don't know what kind of like resources or whatever gain you can get from owning cops, but like it becomes, I don't know if you ever played PlanetSide 2, but the territory controls in those massive battles where like you wanted to own as much territory as possible because it funneled resources and stuff back to your faction on that map. That's one thing they need to invest in. And that's why I said, slow it down. Right.
You own it. You guys earned it this weekend. Now you have it for a week and it's doing something for you, whatever it is. And it makes you care about your positioning on the maps too. Because you could take a brigade and go close to somebody else's base and try to grab resources, grab whatever, and it makes it worthwhile for actually moving around the points of interest.
Yeah,
they got to slow it down, man.
Yeah, if they do stuff like that, like just really lean into that persistence, because that's what they have, right? Like that's what they have that not really any other do.
Yeah,
and something like that would just be lean into that MMO type stuff.
Yeah, I do think they need to eliminate the ability to run back to your body and just pick up your loot right away. I don't know how they can do it, and I don't have a solution for it, but I think that's the most cheeseball thing in that game. It just makes it feel like a basic survival, like DayZ. I just got back to my body, whatever. The map isn't big enough to facilitate that kind of gameplay loop. So I don't know how they could do it, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a problem that the cops brought in. I didn't think it was as big a deal if you had to come back from the main base and ride a chopper. Like if someone killed you, they had a long time to like loot and take your stuff. And then the tracker thing was actually kind of wild too. And then it could kind of be a race. I didn't hate that, but with the cops, they have to do something because with a cop, you can instantly be back to your body.
Yeah.
And that was really silly.
Yeah.
But I have one where I knew something was tracked and I took it and it told you, and I hid it in a bush and I set up an ambush and the dude came back to get his gun and I smoked him.
That's so awesome.
You can oh man, they just can figure to make more moments like that, man.
Yep. Like I remember one of the first times, I know this is supposed to be a sleeper hit, but I like the game so much. I just wish they would do more with it. But I remember when we went to the first underground bunker and we were in there with like a squad of like 6 or 7 guys. And there was another team faction and we were fighting over it and it felt fucking awesome. The firefight was sick. We got great flanks. It was incredible. And then we all just went back to base and that was it. And it just, it was a fleeting little moment. And I feel like they need to lean heavily into that.
Yeah. You get those flashes. Like you get those flashes of like a cool moment where like, dude, that was one of the most cool moments I've ever had in a game where I literally outsmarted another human. Like I could like tell the dude was chasing me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to put this thing back on his body. And then I'm going to go over here. Cause I heard him shooting, clearing scabs behind me.
Yeah.
And I threw his gun in a bush cause he was chasing me. And I went across the river up and then I had a sniper. I had an SVD.
Yeah.
I remember, and I laid under a bush and he came to the bush to get his gun and I smoked his ass.
So good.
It was so cool, man.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. No,
so
I'm excited to see what they do
into
with it
that
for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they have a good foundation. It's just I think the one thing that threw me off at the very beginning was we asked them why there was a safe container in the game, and their response to it was, well, it's because Tarkov had it, and that to me is not good because that what is the point of a safe container when I can just go run back to my body? Like, death wasn't a permanent thing as it was in a Tarkov, so it felt kind of like you made that for just the sake of something else having it. It was weird. So I think right now in 2026 for them is them finding their footing and actually following through with a vision that they think is going to be effective in the space. And that's what it is. I'm watching from the rafters.
Yeah. Yep. I'll say it. I'm rooting for them, but
for sure.
Yeah. We'll just see what they do, but I would love to see, cause they have a neat base. They have some really cool tech, like how the map is and how it works and stuff. They can put a game on that sandbox, dude. Like get more of those moments, get more of that agency and that just buy-in from you on your character into the world would be cool. Get extraction shooter like out of it. And I made that mistake too. I wanted it to be an extraction shooter and I called it an extraction shooter.
They marketed it as
I wanted it to be
though.
PvP, and I think they need to move on from that.
I agree. Yeah, they marketed it as an extraction shooter, and then it was a open world shooter, and now I think they're still figuring out what that actually means. But yeah, they could take it so many different ways.
2026 will be interesting for them
for sure. All right, guys, that was a long sleeper hits, but that's okay.
Sorry.
I just like talking to you, man. All right, guys, I think with that, it's time to go back to the lobby. All right, man. Another week, another show.
That was a program.
That was definitely a program. Listen, if you guys stuck through to the end of this one, I think this might be our longest show, even on top of the interview. So appreciate you guys sticking with us.
Here.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all. All right. Next couple of weeks before we sign off, what are you looking at? What's coming up down the pipe? Do we even know What's going on?
Man, not too much. I'm probably going to keep working on this quest on ABI as far as gaming goes. I'm going to get my popcorn out and watch what happens with High Guard. I touched on a little bit laughing. I think that's going to be a show. Yeah, other than that, man, I'm going to keep an eye. I kind of want to make a video about Gray Zone a little bit. Some of that stuff we got into. I think there's a topic to talk about there.
I agree. Yeah.
That kind of ignited that. So in the next couple weeks, I might try to get that out, but
hell yeah.
Yeah, man. It's got to be a bunch of gaming, bunch of working. I think I got a trip to Texas to see the in-laws next weekend, and it's going to be wild. So just doing all that. But appreciate everyone, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be here. These are fun as hell.
Man. Let the people know where they can find you, Crash.
Yeah. Over on Crash Games on YouTube, as well as Crash 8 on Twitch. Crashes 1 through 7 we're taking. And then FPS underscore Crash on X, as well as on all those pages is a link tree. You can hit that and for email, and as well as in my Discord. I'm really active in my Discord, keeping in touch with homies in the community. I'm always checking that and responding to people in the Discord. Got a cool group of folks over there. And yeah, man, the Twitch streams in the evening are a vibe.
Yeah.
We got a small group of really awesome people that hang out in the evenings on Twitch. If you want to come hang out with us, we'd love to have you.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I was thinking, just kind of ramping up to the show, I realized I've been completely locked in. I haven't watched Twitch. I haven't been anywhere. And then I realized I've been missing every single one of your fucking ABI streams. I wanted to see how season 4 has been going for you. And I've been away locked in a basement just working, but
no, it's all good, man. I don't even think the streams are that entertaining, but like people come hang out. I worry about that because it's mostly like gaming and stuff, but I play with a bunch of IRL friends and we get into some wild conversations and stuff. And we just have a good group of people in chat and talk about life and games and what everybody's up to. And it's a cool community. It's small, but really cool.
Yep. Definitely a vibe. And yeah, guys, BigfryTV, pretty much search it anywhere. You'll find me somewhere on a platform. I appreciate you coming through this week, man. This has been a good show.
Yeah. It was fun. I look forward to the next one.
Hell yeah. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you're listening to podcasts. If there's an opportunity to give us a 5-star rating, make sure you do so. This has been your Push to Talk podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
Godspeed.